G'day all, Brendan back here from MaxAbility. Another video, another day. So look, we get requested quite a lot in terms of how to get our trial ride in and out of the car. So look, what I thought I'd do, take the opportunity to do it and give some ideas in terms of pointers of how I do it and some of the things that take into consideration in terms of making sure you protect your lap, making sure you, obviously that shoulder issue as well, you're not lifting too much weight. Some of this is obviously dependent on your strength and mobility, but hopefully this gives you some ideas and a place to start. I'll hand you across to my trusty cameraman and we can get this underway. Right, here we go. Righty-ho, so here we go. So what I've got is got three options basically that we're going to go through in terms of loading the bike. Obviously, first to take it out of the car, but also putting it into the car as well. The first one is obviously in the boot. The second one is on the back seat, and then the third one is in the passenger footwell. This depends on if you've got an MaxAbility or you might have kids, dogs, cats, and everything in the back. So this is to give you some ideas and some pointers about how to go about doing that. Okay, so let's get it underway. First option is option one. Okay, option one. First one is taking it out of the back of the car, to the boot, and then load it back in. Now, the first thing I always do is grab a LapLoader. Now, LapLoaders we make, it's tie-cell foam at the top, strong canvas at the top as well, to protect your leg, protect your skin. And also, like if the wheel's a bit dirty, it just keeps your clothes a lot nicer, which is always a benefit. There's two straps in it, one that goes around your back, one that goes under your knees. Now, to be honest, for this, I mainly just use the one that's around my waist. I don't really need the one that goes under my knee for this. And then tighten up. Righty-ho. That's on, nice and protected. The first thing I do is rotate the bike, bring it back towards the back, and rotate the wheel so it can roll. Now, this is the light, so the special light. This is 8.9 kgs. Now, obviously, this is going to be depending on the weight of the bike you've got and your own mobility, as I mentioned. Now, what I do from here is I lift the bike up, brace myself on my other wheel, and I do it in two stages, making sure the hoop is underneath your arm. You want to make sure it's underneath and then roll it down with your hand on the tyre to slow it down. Always make sure the hoop is underneath your arm, because when you drop it down on the ground, if this hoop is on the top, then you're going to be in trouble. Okay, so the next thing here is you roll it down, and then let it hit the tyre, ground hit the tyre and bounce. Then once it's bounced, make sure it's stable before you move again, and then push it forward, lay it down. The next thing that I do is I move the battery closer to the back of the car. I don't load the battery on until I've loaded the bike, and I'll link in that video in terms of loading as well. Now I take the LapLoader off, and we're ready to go. Okay, so now I'm back. I'm back from grabbing some groceries and also went for a spin around Long Bay. And now I've got to load it back into the car. So it's just the reverse. Now, first thing obviously put my brakes on, bike's off. First thing is always remove the battery. Makes it a lot easier. Put it into a place where it's not going to get in the road. I always put it to the left because I'm going to put the bike into the right of the boot. Okay? Now, again, I brace myself on with my other arm, my left arm on the wheel, pick the bike up. Now move it as close to myself as I can, because you want to lift straight up. You don't want to put any strain on your shoulder, so you want to go straight up. So again, I brace myself with my hand on my rim, my left hand, and I lift it up. The first thing is going to be on the lap. So straight up, and then get some position again. Now again, you see that my arm is on top of the hoop. The next thing I do is the easy part. Is all I'm going to do is grab hold of the tyre and I'm going to roll it into the back of the car and push with my top hand. So I'm going to get it to there, roll it in. And then I always turn the handlebars on an angle as well, just to stop if you're in the car and you're moving around, the bike doesn't fall over. Done that. Again, position the battery, it's not going to slide around. Take the LapLoader off and we're ready to head home. Okay, so here we go, part two, option two. Boot's no longer an option, you've got an MaxAbility in, or you might have some other stuff, as we will do, in the back of the car. So let's go through getting it out of the back seat and then putting it back into the back seat as well. Okay, so first things first, obviously the bike is in two pieces, so the hoop is off. So what I do is I first take this out, and I just put this on the ground basically, out of the road. And then the next thing I do, the battery's down on the ground, but I leave that there because I don't want it to get in the way. First thing is obviously I pull the bike towards me, drop handlebars on my lap first off, brakes are on the chair, and then what you want to do is you're going to lift it up, and then you're going to roll it onto your lap. So it's basically from here, grab hold of the tyre again, so you've got control of the bike, and then it just rolls up under here. There you go. And then what I do is I release the left brake, because at the moment I'm on the passenger side of the car, just to roll out. Then I put the brake back on, and then what I want to do is I switch hands, because I've got to drop it down to my left. Righty-ho, so now I've switched hands, so I'm on my left hand now, because the bike's got to go this way. So again, I brace myself with my other free hand, and I let it roll down and hit the ground. And that's the option there. Then the next way to do it, you can do it one of two ways, so I'll go through two ways. One is you lay the bike on the ground, spin the frame around, and then you can put on the hoop like this. Undo that. Easy as, takes a couple of seconds. And then what I do is once I've got this onto here, I flick the pin so it holds the hoop on. Find the hole, there we go. There it is. And then put the pin through. So this is part two of the same thing, if you like. So this is putting the hoop, instead of on the ground, anything it back up, doing it on your lap. So I've got it on my lap, and what I do is I lay it on my lap, make sure to spin this around. Now, I've left the hoop in the car for this, I leave the hoop in the car. Again, same process. So what I do is I locate the pin, and here, and then what I do now, lock that on, once that locks on, then it's the same process as you do for the boot. So again, you want to brace the bike, your brakes are still on, so you want to make sure you get the bike up to that, leave it, let the bike settle, you don't want to move too much, and then I change hands, so with my left hand, hold my free hand, let it bounce to the ground, let it drop, and then grab the battery, off you go. Okay, part three. So we've done the back seat, we've done the boot. The next option is putting it into the driver's well of the passenger side of the car. So now this obviously depends on the size of the bike you have. If you've got like a Mad Max, for example, it's going to be tricky to get it into here because of the size of the wheel. But mine's a Special Light, HT compact is okay as well. Foldable, obviously, without a doubt. Right, next thing here is what we do. So I've got my position, my brakes on my chair on. First things first is I lift up the bike and I lock the hoop, okay? And then what you want to do is you're going to pull it close to you. So you're going to grab hold of this, the hoop and the handle, pull it close to you, and then you're going to roll it up onto the sill of the car. So that gets you to there, okay? Now the next thing, the easiest way to do it now, is what I do is I start to lay it onto my knee a little bit. I release the outer brake, so it allows my chair to pivot. And I lay it on my lap, grab hold of the hoop, hold that, release the other brake now, and then what I do is I just push away, get away from the car, put my brakes back on. Rightio, arrive back, getting the battery off, but I must say, just as a bit of a side note really, Long Bay is sensational if you've got obviously power assist or you just want to go for a cruise around on your chair. Long Bay is outstanding. Good tracks, good coffee, which is always a positive, and the shopping's great too. So lots of little boutique stuff, which is great. Anyway, back to the video. So get the battery off. Now I put this straight away in the car, so I put it down the bottom of the footwell. And then, again, it's the same process that I did when I took it out of the car and coming back in. So again, brakes on my chair, and then brace myself. And then again, you want to do it in as less in a controlled manner at a time, and it's not about speed, as I said before. So the first thing is I want to get it up to my lap. So then what I do is I turn it around, and then I lift it up. So change my hand, and then lift it up. Grab hold of the tie. And then what I do is I make sure that I lay it down. Then I know it's not going to roll anywhere. And then we put it in the car. Righty-ho. So now we've got it to their lap. The first things I do is I release the brakes, but I'm always holding onto the bike. So releasing the brakes is I just want to pivot into the car a bit more to make it a bit easier for myself. So when the brakes are off, other brakes off, and then as we all do, we use the things to move us around. Turn the wheel a little bit so I can get in closer. Righty-ho. So now we're in. Brakes go back on the chair. And then again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load it onto the door sill first, and then spin it around. So now the bike just drops straight onto the door sill. Let it roll into the back of the car. And then what I want to do now is release this pin, a little cotter pin there, lean across, and then that will allow the bike to sit safe in the seat. And then as an added bonus, what I do is I make sure that the seatbelt, I'm going to seatbelt the bike in. So what I do is I hook the seatbelt just over the bike like that, and then when I get into the driver's seat, all I need to do is pull it over and then lock it in, and then away we go.